Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're back in Warframe for another guide, and this time we're having a look at the Panzer Vulpaphyla. This infested companion, in my humble opinion, is one of the most useful pets you can acquire in Warframe. Its viral quills will infect enemies in range with spores that apply viral status, similar to Siren's ones, and it is also able to never die and instead, when incapacitated, stay on your shoulder and keep on spitting those spores until it revives on its own. Vulpaphylas are also very easy to acquire and customize to your liking. To get started, you need to make your way to Deimos and start grinding your reputation ranks with the Entrati and farm some materials from the open world. This will help you a lot in the future, so run around, explore and have some fun. There's a ton of stuff to discover and many different animals and enemies to deal with. Back to the topic of the video, there are three different types of Vulpaphyla: Sly, Crescent and Panzer. Sly is the common variant, Crescent is rare, and Panzer is the rarest of all. By using your trunk rifle acquired in Fortuna, you can take part in Deimos conservation and hunt for these animals. To be able to make a Vulpaphyla one of your companions, you'll need to shoot one with your trunk rifle after it has been attacked by an infested enemy. This will reward you with a weakened version of that Vulpaphyla, one of the three crafting materials we will need to revive this pet. The other two materials needed for this process are one mutagen and one antigen. This can be bought from some shops for a bit of standing, but to unlock all the variants you'll have to increase your reputation with the Entrati. There are 4 variants of mutagens and another 4 of antigens. Each variant of mutagen makes your Vulpaphyla resistant to one elemental damage type and one physical damage type. And each variant of antigen grants your pet a different mod polarity. Mutagens and antigens also alter the appearance of your Vulpaphyla. Mutagens change the look of your pet's tail, and antigens add special details to the neck shoulders area of your companion. You can have a look at all these special stats and appearances while in the Vulpaphyla revivification screen that can be accessed by talking to Zone in the Necrolisk. Before we revive our Vulpaphyla, we need to choose and craft the mutagen and the antigens we like the most. This process takes 1 minute and only requires a few materials that you've probably already collected while exploring Deimos. With these 2 concoctions ready, we only need to talk to Son, select the Vulpaphyla revivification option, and select the weakened Panzer Vulpaphyla, as well as the mutagen and antigens we have already crafted. I recommend using Adra or featured mutagens since they make your Panzer resistant to heat and puncture or toxin and slash, but if you like the other two's appearance, go for those. As for your antigen, we can pretty much say the same thing, but I still recommend going for either Virox for 1 Madurai mod slot or Plagen for an Aramon one instead. Now put all of those together, select build, and your Panzer Vulpaphyla is now ready to be your best friend. From now on, your only goal is to bring your new companion to level 30. This allows you to gild your pet for 10 Zone tokens and 5000 standing, and gilding resets the companion's level, gives you the ability to rename your Vulpaphyla, and you also get mastery rank points after this pet reaches level 30 again. Keep in mind that you only get mastery point once per variant of Vulpaphyla, even if you use different mutagens and antigens. If you want all mutagens and all the antigens on your companion, you can actually do that by breeding Panzer Vulpaphyla with different mutagens and antigens by using genetic code templates and incubating the resulting egg. After doing this 2 times, you can get your perfect specimen with all the resistances and mod polarities you want, and although this process is not recommended, you can actually do it. It's not that hard and will make your companion more powerful and require less forma for the build. Talking about builds, it's now time to check the one I use on my Panzer. And these are the mods I use on my Panzer Vulpaphyla. I'm using viral quills, so my Panzer can launch those 6 quills that will track enemies and deal viral damage. This also has a chance to apply viral, and if the enemy is already affected by viral, it has a chance to add an additional spore that applies an additional viral stack. This only happens every 4 seconds and has a 40% chance. Panzer Vulpaphylas also have access to Panzer Devolution, which allows them to go back into the larval form when they get incapacitated, and they'll just be on your shoulder spitting more and more spores and pretty much doing what they are meant for. Then we have Tenacious Bond that will grant an additional 1.2x critical damage multiplier to all my weapons, and the only requirement is for my Panzer Vulpaphyla to have a 50% or more crit chance on its claws. Then we have Vicious Bond, and this makes it so the companion will also be able to strip enemies' armor by 15% and spread this effect to all enemies within 9 meters. Then we have Contagious Bond, and this allows our pet to also spread 50% of the status types affecting the target to all enemies in a radius of 9 meters. This has a cap of 100 stacks, and this includes all the status types affecting the target. Then we have Momentous Bond, and this grants our pet an additional 120% elemental damage bonus for 30 seconds after it kills an Eximus unit. The elemental type should be random, and the second part of this mod doesn't actually work because this pet works in a different way. Then I'm using Enhanced Vitality for 250% more HP on my Panzer Vulpaphyla. This mod is great for squishier Warframes with low amounts of HP, but if you're using a Warframe like Inneros that has a lot of HP, I recommend using Link Vitality instead. Then I'm using Resourceful Retriever for an 18% chance to gain double the amount of resources from pickups, Prime Animal Instinct for more Root Raider and more Enemy Raider, and finally Fetch, which makes it so our pet can also pick up resources for us within a 13.5 meter radius. Now moving to the Panzer Claws, these are the mods I am currently using. Frenzied Posture, so the status applied by my companion lasts 80% longer. Bite for more crit chance and crit damage. Hunter Synergy, so the crit chance of my companion increases by 30% of the crit chance of my primary weapon, and this is actually a great buff because it allows my companion to reach 107.5 crit chance, and that means all his attacks will crit. Then we have Maul for more melee damage and Caldewick for 60% more melee damage per status type affecting the target, although we are losing on the second part of this mod because we have over 100% crit chance, and that means all the attacks of this companion will crit, but this mod still grants our companion a lot more damage. Then we have Venom Teeth for more toxin and status chance, and Flame Gland for more heat and status chance, which both combine into Shocking Claws because this is how this mod works. It takes all the other modded elements and combines their damage bonuses into just more electricity damage with a total of almost 70% status chance. And finally Swipe for more range on our companion's attacks. This mod allows our companion to hit more enemies and spread more statuses, which is exactly what we want, because thanks to this and Contagious Bond, it can spread a lot of statuses to many enemies, and that's exactly how he deals damage. And that's pretty much the build, so let's now see how it performs. We have here our 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners, level 225, with still path modifiers as usual, and let's see how our Panzer deals with them. This is of course the best possible scenario ever, because the enemies are just standing there very close to each other, and it can spread statuses between pretty much all of them, but it's a real representation of what this companion can actually do. And always keep in mind, this is just gonna be passive damage happening in the background while you're also killing stuff, so I think it's actually pretty good. Let's now do it again, but enemies this time will be able to shoot our companion, and let's see what happens. Yeah, it didn't last that long, and that's because he is actually kind of squishy, only having that much HP, pretty much no armor and a very small amount of shields. It's usually not great against very high level enemies. If you're actually playing a mission, you'll probably be killing stuff, crowd controlling enemies and stuff like that, so usually your pet won't die every 5 seconds, but yeah, keep in mind that they are not exactly that reliable if enemies start dealing a lot of damage. Also keep in mind that when your Panzer is in its larval state, it cannot use any ability other than just spitting spores, so it will be just there for 30 seconds, unable to actually kill stuff, so yeah, you kinda wanna keep your companion alive as long as possible. And that's why I have this second build that I usually equip when I am using a Warframe like Inneros with a lot of HP, or when I need my companion to stay alive as long as possible. This build uses Prime Pack Leader instead of Momentous Bond and Link Vitality instead of Enhanced Vitality. That way my Panzer has a lot more HP, and thanks to Prime Pack Leader it can also be healed and given some overguard when my Warframe deals damage with its melee weapons. Alright, let's now summon 20 fresh enemies and let's see how it goes this time. Of course, our Panzer Vulpaphyla has a lot more HP, and thanks to our melee attacks it can be healed and also given overguard, which tremendously boosts its survivability. It's pretty obvious that now our companion is pretty much unkillable as long as enemies don't just straight up one-shot him, which is usually a thing that doesn't really happen unless you reach like very high level enemies, so for your usual daily mission this is more than enough. And that's pretty much the Panzer Vulpaphyla. He is still the best companion I own and my favorite one, of course, because I really like the fact that he can spread viral by itself and that helps me deal more damage. Indeed, a very good boy. And that's pretty much it for today's build. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you like my content, consider subscribing. I wish you a beautiful rest of the day, and bye bye.